going on? It's James here, and wanted to shoot a quick video for all you YouTube members out there, especially those of you who are feeling the pressure of FOMO right now. So before I jump into the content for this video, please do me a huge favor, hit that thumbs up button, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and of course don't forget to check the description. There are plenty of links down there to support the channel, as well as join my Patreon and join my trading course if you'd like to learn my proprietary trade setups. So I'm going to keep the video short, and I just want to point out one thing and one thing only so that your mind can be put at ease. When you're on social media and you see people making these ridiculous posts about $1 invested in Bitcoin X years ago would be worth X dollars today, and then they compare it to Apple and Tesla and all these major stocks, stop and realize what they're doing is not based in reality, because you can't go back in time 10 years and invest in any of those things. You can't go back and invest in Bitcoin at $1. You can't go back and invest in Bitcoin at 5 cents, etc. Look at it now. What is the performance now? So for example, if we look at Bitcoin and we look at its 1 year performance, so how did Bitcoin do from the beginning of the year, January 1st, until current time? So if you put $1 into Bitcoin on January 1st of 2020, that investment would now be worth roughly $3.21, which is a 221% return. Amazing. Nobody's going to take anything away from you if you did that. It's obviously a brilliant play. But is it special? Is it the life-changing returns that people are making it sound like it is? And does it outperform stocks? And the answer is yes and no. It outperforms some stocks, but since they love to use Tesla as their example and how $1 put into Tesla 10 years ago would be worth $100 or something, and $1 put into Bitcoin would be worth thousands. Okay, well, let's look at Tesla. How did Tesla do year to date? Well, if you invested in Tesla on January 1st of 2020, your money would currently be worth, your $1 would be $7.72, which is nearly triple the returns that you would have got investing that same money into Bitcoin. They don't talk about that. They don't ever show you that part, because they're trying to get you to FOMO into Bitcoin, and in some cases they're trying to sell their Bitcoin, so they need people following in. But you have to realize that the life-changing returns for Bitcoin, they have come and they have went, right? Now, if you're a trader, you can leverage Bitcoin, you can leverage trade, you can parlay trades, and you could turn a few $1,000s into literally millions of dollars if you're a trader. But that has nothing to do with buying and holding Bitcoin, okay? If you are simply buying and holding Bitcoin, the chances that you're going to get rich off of it, unless you're making some type of major investment today, very, very slim. It depends on your definition of rich, but let's say, for example, you need to make $2 million to retire, okay? Well, if Bitcoin were to go to, say, $100,000, you would still need 20 Bitcoin. So 20 Bitcoin times today's prices, 20 times 23, $460,000 investment. If you've got $460,000 to invest, there's probably other places to put that would provide a better return. Business investments, land investments, rental investments, so on and so forth, right? Even if you invested at $4,000 in March, again, you're still going to need, 20 Bitcoin. 20 Bitcoin times $4,000 would have been an $80,000 investment. I don't know too many people who have $80,000 to invest who aren't already fairly well off, right? So here's Tesla, 672%. Let's take a look at its Chinese counterpart, NEO. NEO, from January 1st of 2020 until now, is up roughly 1,100%, which means $1 invested in NEO would be worth $12. Again, way bigger returns than Bitcoin. Let's look at something like Fiverr. So Fiverr, for those of you that don't know, it's a site that allows gig workers to get gigs on the internet. They used to charge $5 for most things. Now they have all kinds of upsells and stuff. But their stock was listed back, I guess, in 2019. If you invested in their stock on January 1st of 2020 and you sat on it, you would currently be up 752%. meaning your $1 would be worth roughly $8.52. Again, completely demolishing the returns that you would have got on Bitcoin. Bitcoin went up a little over 200%. Fiverr is up over 700%. You have stocks like, what's another big stock? Let's look at Amazon. I think Bitcoin did outperform Amazon, so at least they have that. If you invest in Amazon January 1st, your stock would currently be worth roughly $1.72, so not quite as good. Not too far behind Bitcoin, but not as good. If you look at Apple, which was already extremely overvalued in my opinion, you invested on January 1st, your $1 would be worth roughly $1.73. So again, not quite as good as Bitcoin. If we invested in Netflix, I don't know how Netflix did. January 1st to now, you would be up roughly 63%, so $1.63. So the major caps, Netflix, Apple, and Amazon, have all lagged behind Bitcoin. But then you have stocks like Tesla that smoked it, Fiverr smoked it. I don't even remember the other one. Neo completely demolished it, right? And the list does go on. Those aren't the only stocks. I haven't looked through every single stock, obviously. I just picked a few. This is Walmart. From January 1st until now, you'd be up about 22%. So Walmart would have been not near as good as Best Buy, not near as good as Bitcoin, right? What else is out there? Let's look at some crypto. Let's look at other cryptocurrency. So OMG, for example, was one of my larger investments in crypto. And if you invested in OMG on January 1st of 2020, you would currently be up 444%, which means your $1 would be worth $5.44, double the returns of Bitcoin. And at one point, you could have been up as much as 1,500% on that OMG. Let's look at Ethereum, which of course is one of the more trustworthy cryptos, if you can call crypto trustworthy. Go back to January 1st. If you invested $1 in Ethereum, you currently be up roughly 411.6%, meaning your $1 would be $5.11. Again, roughly double the returns or close to double the returns of Bitcoin. Let's look at Ripple. Everybody loves to hate Ripple. It's just another coin to me, but if you invested on January 1st of 2020, your Ripple would currently be up 206%. So as much as they like to bash Ripple, that's almost identical to Bitcoin. What else is out there? Eos. How's Eos doing right now? If you invested $1 in Eos on January 1st, 2020, you would currently be up 20%. That one really shit the bed, for lack of a better explanation. But we can do this all day. We can go through investment after investment after investment. My point is not to kick mud on Bitcoin. You cannot kick mud on an investment that's up over 200%. That's an amazing return. My point is to alleviate this FOMO that people feel like, oh my God, Bitcoin is the only thing. It's the only way that I can get rich. I have to invest in Bitcoin. No, you don't. There are plenty of other investments out there. And if I wanted to invest, I talk about value investing. If I wanted to invest, I want to look for something that's undervalued, not overvalued. For example, if I look at EOS, I'm looking at a monthly chart. It had this huge pump up to around $9. This is a bad chart to look at because EOS was much higher than that. You can see back here, it was up around $23. I know because I sold a bunch of EOS back there and then like an idiot bought it back at 17. But if I look at EOS, what is EOS doing? It's grinding sideways. People are losing all interest in it. What is another name for an asset that's grinding sideways? Could be, not guaranteed, but could be accumulation. And in this case, we're talking 2 years of accumulation. So if EOS does end up being a winner someday, it could be that people have just been accumulating this whole time, and when it finally explodes, let's just say hypothetically that EOS was to go back to its old high. That's a 657% return. To get the same return on Bitcoin, Bitcoin would have to go up to about 120, 130 grand, right? And assuming that EOS ends up being a survivor, it wouldn't be far-fetched to say that it might take out that old high. Let's say that EOS ends up, I know there's people in 2017 saying it would be $1,000. I think that's ridiculous. But let's say it goes to $100 someday, which would be about 4x its old high. Well, that would end up being a return of about 3,000%, meaning every dollar you put in today would be worth $30. So if you put in $10,000 today, it'd be worth $300,000. You put in $30,000 today, you know, you can end up becoming a millionaire if this went to $100 someday, which we don't know it will. I'm not implying it will. I have no idea where it will go. But that's what I'm looking for, guys. I want to look for value investments. What I don't want to do is invest in something that looks like that at an all-time high, right? Now, I'm not saying I won't invest in Bitcoin. I did a really long video for Patreon this morning explaining what I'm looking for, the levels that I'm looking for, and all those kinds of things if I were to want to invest in this. But what I'm saying is you can invest in whatever you want, you know, and I'm not saying that investing in Bitcoin is a terrible idea or a good idea. I don't have a crystal ball. But what I am saying is be aware that those posts are being made with the intention of inducing FOMO, right? Talking about $1 invest in Bitcoin, you know, 10 years ago is worth, you know, 10,000 today. That's great, but Bitcoin's not going to go up 10,000x, okay? That's never going to happen. It's almost mathematically impossible for that to happen. If you look at all the money in the world, there's not enough money in the world to give it the type of market cap, right? I mean, literally do the math. Let's say that Bitcoin was to completely just dominate gold, end up becoming some kind of, you know, store of value, accepted worldwide, blah, blah, blah. Let's say that ended up having a $10 trillion market cap. Not all crypto, just Bitcoin, $10 trillion all by itself. Well, there's 21 million Bitcoin. So that would give Bitcoin a value of roughly $476,000 each, which divided by its current price would be roughly 20x return. 20x is good. That's amazing. But it's not unique. We've all seen plenty of altcoins go up 20x, 50x, 100x. We've seen altcoins go up 1,000x. We've seen stocks go up 20x, right? Neo, which was that stock that went nuts this year, right now it's up 11x from the beginning of the year, but from March until its peak back here, okay, if trading views, what in the world? Just draw a whole new price range, I guess. It won't let me move that one. It went up from October of last year to its high this year, went up 47x. For Bitcoin to go up 47x, it'd have to be worth over $1 million a coin. So, you know, again, I understand you're not going to catch all these, but in the case of Neo, there was actually signals on this to buy this, right? There was a double bottom down here, and there was a neckline right there. If you would have bought the neckline break, you would have been at $4. It's currently $45. So that's a 10x return. Okay. The list goes on and on. I don't want to get, you know, too far off on a tangent. I just wanted to sit down and do this video for all of you who are feeling stressed out or FOMO or thinking that you've missed the boat. There's never going to be another opportunity. There probably will be more opportunity on Bitcoin. It should at some point retrace. It should let you in if it's a true bull market. But even if you don't get in on Bitcoin, or if Bitcoin ends up, you know, falling out of the bed or whatever, there are other investments that do the same thing. And if you will just simply learn to read charts and learn technical analysis and learn to trade or invest, right, you should have plenty of opportunity in your lifetime to do well for yourself. You don't have to pin all of your hopes and dreams on a single asset. All right. So with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap the video up there. Please remember, I am just some guy sitting in a spare bedroom. So nothing in the video is financial advice. Nothing in the video is trade advice. You should always do your own due diligence and seek out professional investment advice from a licensed financial advisor before making any type of investment in cryptocurrency or the stock market. This is James with Crypto Common Sense reminding you to please trade safe.